Buenos días, compañeros. Profe Broom aquí. Son las 5:09 de la mañana, el 28 de mayo, que es jueves. Been up since about 2:45 this morning, sipping on my second pot of Mojo here. Muy buen café. I guess I really couldn't sleep because I just can't believe it's already Thursday and tomorrow is the last day of the school year. And so today's kind of our last lesson. And without getting too emotional here, I just wanted to make sure that I can get you guys kind of resources here that you could use to continue practicing your Spanish through the summer. Como practicar el español durante el verano. Yo espero que ustedes decidan seguir estudiando español el año siguiente. Español 3, 4. Would love to see you in one of those classes. And if not, I understand it might not fit in your schedule, or maybe it's just, maybe it's not for you, but I've put together a list here of some pretty cool ways that you can continue to incorporate Spanish in parts of your life throughout the summer. There probably will be plenty of opportunity to do so as we kind of continue here in the lockdown stage, at least in Minnesota, right? So without further ado, I'm going to get into this list here of ways to practicar el español durante el verano. See? Of course, the number one way that probably comes to your mind is Duolingo, because that is what is most what you are most familiar with, but there are plenty of other ways we could incorporate Spanish into our lives this summer. An application that's kind of similar to Duolingo is called Memrise. If you log in with Memrise, you can I think that we toyed around with this once in class. I know I've done it several times in the past, but if I've never done it with your class, I apologize. We could say Spanish 2 from Mexico, for example, and get into this lesson here. Where in the Universe, this one's called. And what I like about this app as opposed to Duolingo is you hear a variety of different native speakers using the language, and you actually
Estados Unidos.
get to see them speaking it here after a while. Actually, I think it's on your
Hablar.
phone that you get to see them speak it if you use your phone as an app. Type the Spanish word above the United States. Los Estados Unidos.
Estados Unidos. Estados Unidos.
Oops, they don't want Los Estados Unidos. They just want Estados Unidos. Lo siento. To speak, to talk, to tell. I'm guessing that's going to be hablar.
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 Un poco.
Un poco.
Unos pocos.
Unos pocos. Un poco.
Un poco.
¿Dónde?
¿Dónde? A few. Unos pocos.
Unos pocos.
So if you use this on your phone, you get to actually see people speaking using the language. You get to see their face. You kind of get to see
Estados Unidos.
how the mouth is moving and things like that. See? Okay, so let's go on here. The next part of my list, apps for stories. I know that we did do Duolingo stories. We tried that. I really like Duolingo stories. Another app that's sort of similar to Duolingo stories is this one called LingQ. If you log into LingQ, you can find different stories that it's a little bit less visually appealing than Duolingo stories, but nonetheless, there's great content on here, okay? And there's a lot of ways that you can interact with the text. Let's see. So it's going to explain you the directions here. Esta es la historia número 1. Es sobre Miguel que trabaja en un restaurante. Miguel se levanta a las 6 todos los días. And they can actually read it to you also, I think.
Miguel.
I think... Okay, here we go.
Historia 1. Miguel es cocinero. Hola a todos. Estas son historias que quiero que escuchen. Usan los verbos más habituales
So,
del
of course, the
idioma.
nice thing here is you can listen to the story on audio,
La historia
which is
es
pretty neat.
contada 2 veces y después hay algunas preguntas. Puedes elegir contestar las preguntas o simplemente escuchar las respuestas que te ofrezco. Esta es la historia número 1. Es sobre Miguel, que trabaja
Okay,
en un
now she's going to
restaurante.
start. She was just explaining directions.
Miguel se levanta a las 6 todas las mañanas, prepara el desayuno y se toma un café. Va al trabajo en su coche. Su trabajo comienza a las 7:30 de la mañana. Miguel es cocinero en un restaurante. Prepara comida para clientes con ganas de comer. Los clientes son de muchos países. Hablan muchos idiomas distintos. Miguel puede conocer a mucha gente
Okay, so basically you get through the story and then it's going to ask you some questions about the story. Preguntas. Miguel se levanta a las 6 de la mañana. A las 6 todas las mañanas. ¿Se levanta Miguel temprano? Does Miguel wake up early? Sí. Miguel se levanta a las 6 de la mañana. So, but as I was saying earlier, there are different ways you can interact with the text. If you click on words, it will say, okay, this is a verb. It's conjugated in the yo form. You can search it on wordreference.com. I guess what happened here is it changes from the third person to the first person. So you get to hear the story being told about Miguel, and then you get to hear it in the perspective of Miguel telling the story. See? And there are a lot more features of LingQ that I like, but this is kind of LingQ in a nutshell. See? Okay. Of course, EMC Passport has books on it. Okay. If you log into EMC Passport, I'm just going to show you how to find the books. My interface looks a little bit different from yours, but if you log in, I think in like the bottom left hand corner you have, I think it's a purple tab that says resources, and you could either click on, I think, Spanish 1 or Spanish 2. I'm just going to be in the Spanish 1 platform, but you can find the Spanish 2 one also. The oldest storybook here, they used to only have one called Las Aventuras de la Familia Miranda. That's a storybook. But now they have all of these other storybooks in here as well. You can read about Frida Kahlo, you can read about Antoni Gaudí, you can read about Shakira. Los Perezosos is one that I kind of like. It's from a series called Campamento Steam. El Dia de los Muertos. You can read about Dia de los Muertos, see? Caperucita Roja, Los Tres Cerditos. So some old folkloric tales there. Little Red Riding Hood and Three Little Pigs. So again, this is the level 1. I'll see what they have for level 2 for stories. A little bit more advanced stories, of course, but nonetheless some pretty good stuff on here, see? So you can kind of navigate through it, and if you see something that sticks out that you want to read about, that's a great way to, oops, I'm clicking on the wrong stuff here. Great way to keep brushed up on your Spanish throughout the summer, see? Okay, next we'll get into the YouTube video series. There are a lot of them that I recommend. Of course, this is a cool way to stay engaged with the language by watching videos. I know that especially your generation seems to like to watch things. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm guilty of it too. I do enjoy reading, but I also enjoy watching multimedia stimuli. So one that I used to watch a lot in class, Extra en Español. It's kind of a fun video series here.
Lola recibe una carta de América.
So you can kind of see how the series
Lola,
goes here.
mi bebecito. Esto llegó para ti. ¿Comes bastante verdura? Tu madre que te quiere.
Madre mía.
Viene de América.
¿De América? ¿De
Yeah,
quién?
so it's kind of neat. There are several episodes, and this one is made for language learners. Okay, Extra is made for language learners. There's another one that I recommend on here called La Catrina that's also made for language learners. It's from Mexico. So Extra en Español is from Spain. La Catrina is from Mexico. And this one's a mystery that's kind of tied to the custom Dia de los Muertos.
Vamos a
¿Sí?
llegar tarde.
No creo, los trenes nunca llegan a tiempo.
And it's an older one, obviously.
Bueno, vamos a conocer al famoso Jaime. ¿De dónde es el papá? Es de Los Ángeles, pero su padre nació aquí, en Querétaro. ¿Sí? Oye, mamá, mi
So, of course, this one's older, I think from the early 90s, okay? They're about 15-minute episodes in kind of a mystery series, see? Another one that I put on here is El Cuarto Misterioso, which of course you can watch in EMC. We, I think in most Spanish classes in level 1, we watched some of the episodes. If you are curious to continue watching them, you could again go into the resources tab, click on your course textbook, and then once your textbook loads, it's the first page of each chapter. So if you go into chapters here and say Unidad 1A Tecnología, there's always going to be this video link right here. So I like to go to Open Video in New Tab, and then you get to watch the episode here. So you probably remember this one now just off of the music, see? So you go through it, and they're giving you a recap of
Yo me llamo Conchita.
everything that you know up to this point. Yeah, ooh, yeah. You'd probably want to watch the whole recap here because this is like a 5-minute review of everything from level 1 before you get into level 2. And I know we didn't watch it this year, so a recap might be good. ¿Sí? Bien. I've assigned some of these Pablo's Dreaming Spanish. The last 2 days you watched him tell stories on YouTube. Really neat stuff. Finally, Easy Spanish. I've assigned some of these right here. Just
Estas son letras gigantes. Esa es una A. Me acercaré a la A. La A y yo somos del mismo tamaño. Baruch, ¿cómo está el clima hoy? Hoy el clima está muy soleado. Hace mucho
so they
calor.
in these they walk you through basic Spanish in the context of things that are around them. So he's at the University UNAM today, Universidad Autónoma de Mexico, and he goes around and kind of talks to people and introduces you to basic vocabulary structures. See? These are called super easy Spanish. If you think it's way too easy, just go into what's called easy Spanish and not super easy Spanish. And then it's more like interviews with people that he encounters on the street. Okay, grand finale here. One of my favorite series ever is called Cuéntame Cómo Pasó, and it's not made for language learners. This is like real Spanish series, and it's very highly addicting, but also difficult to comprehend perhaps, because of course it's not made for language learners. It's made for actual Spaniards to enjoy. See?
Antonio, ¿has subido los informes?
No, doña Adrina, voy a subirlos ahora mismo.
Venga, hombre, date prisa, que los están esperando.
No se preocupe. Buenos días, don Jacinto.
Hola, Alcántara.
Don Jacinto, ¿puedo hablar un momento con usted?
No, Alcántara, tengo prisa.
Solo será un momento, es que quiero pedirle un favor.
Bueno, sí.
Verá, don Jacinto, mi hijo el pequeño va a hacer la primera comunión y ando un poco
So
escaso
it's
de
called
dinero.
Cuéntame Cómo Pasó. See? It's about a family in Spain, a middle class family in like the 90s era that go through all of the it kind of shows the family grow and the changing of the decades, and it's just about family life in Spain and a middle class culture. See? There are 3 kids in the family, see?
¿Pero te quieres estar quieto de una vez que no me dejas estudiar? Tengo un examen.
Oye, Tony,
Que me dejes en paz. ¿Qué quieres? ¿Que me suspendan el pre o no pueda ir a la universidad?
¿a ti te gustaría tener muchas mujeres o ir por el desierto en camello y vivir en tiendas de campaña?
Tú estás chalao. Pero chalao de verdad, ¿eh? Cada día peor.
See? So, if you're up for a challenge and to really train your ear, this is a really good one. Of course, like I said, native speakers, for native speakers, but it would be awesome if you guys wanted to try it. See? So those are some video series, películas, movies. Netflix has a ton. I'm not going to recommend a ton of them on Netflix because there are probably many that are not school appropriate. So I don't recommend those. One that is a really good movie on Netflix is called Pan's Labyrinth, El Laberinto de Fauna. And it is a movie that is a historical motif about the Spanish Civil War of 1936, but it also incorporates fantasy into the movie. It is from Spain, so they have the Spanish accent, which may be difficult for you to kind of get the hang of right away, but it's an important accent to understand because course, you go to Spain and that's how people
Su
speak.
mujer no debió haber viajado en un estado tan avanzado de embarazo.
¿Esa es su opinión?
Mi opinión profesional, sí, señor.
Un hijo debe nacer donde quiera que esté su padre. Eso es todo.
And you can put on subtitles on Netflix, of course. So it's kind of got this fantasy piece where the little girl sees fairies, and it kind of has like a scary aspect to it where she starts following the fairies and finds a guy called the Fauna. See? And, but of course, it's probably not real. It's all in her head, but it's kind of one of those great themes of fantasy versus reality. So that's one movie I can recommend. Again, Netflix has a ton of movies in Spanish, and most of them have subtitles. See? Canciones. I have tons and tons of playlists on YouTube. If you're a musical person into music, you learn well through music. That's kind of how I got my start into Spanish, was these final two, pen pals and songs. Okay. When I first started realizing that I was becoming fluent in Spanish, it was because I was able to start listening to music and not really having to look up the lyrics, kind of understanding the lyrics to songs, or being like, man, what are they saying? Like, I just can't quite, like, I couldn't like listen to the song and write down what they were saying, because I was like, they're talking, or they're mixing too many words together. So I would look up the lyrics on the internet, back when the internet was still kind of brand new when I was learning Spanish, and I'd be like, oh, once I read the lyrics and then listen to the song, I knew exactly what the song was about, and then I could sing along with it and practice my speaking through singing, which you all know I'm a great singer, right? No, but it was fun, and I did it when nobody was listening, of course. So here's an example of a song on my YouTube playlist you might like. So I got some catchy tunes on there. I got some old time traditionals. I have playlists for all different types of music. So if you're into music and you want to like add some songs to your playlist, see me and I'll recommend some for you, or I'll share my playlist with you. Finally, this one is so fun. Pen pals or grid pals. I apologize we weren't able to do this in class this year because of the novel coronavirus. But I think the number one way that I became a Spanish teacher was because I got really good at speaking Spanish in high school, and it inspired me to go on and become a Spanish teacher. Of course, I did a lot of things before I realized that I wanted to teach Spanish, but I always knew I wanted Spanish as part of my life, and it all goes back to my high school Spanish teacher, who got us really great pen pals when I was in high school, and I was so excited to always exchange letters with my pen pal. Of course, like I said, the internet was still pretty new back then, so there weren't really ways to do pen pals via online, but now there are. So you can literally be linked up like in a matter of, you know, hours or days with a pen pal nowadays. So grid pals is kind of a safe way to do it. See, that's kind of what I put on here. Grid pals, there are ways that you can find a language speaker that that maybe has the same interests as you, or you know, they're looking to learn English and you're looking to learn Spanish, and you can exchange videos, you could exchange emails, letters, whatever you'd like. You could even FaceTime, and this would be really a way to make language learning real. If you do want to do this, please see me first, okay? There would be some things I'd want to talk to you about before, I wouldn't encourage you to reach out and just like meet a stranger on the internet. I would probably want to work with administration and talk to your parents and find like a English teacher from the Spanish speaking world. I know a few that could give me a name of one of their students so that it's like there's some type of connection established and it's not just a stranger that you're being linked to, right? So again, if this is something you're interested in, please see me first. And of course, as your instructor, you can email me all summer if you ever want to set up a Zoom chat, Google Hangout. I'm always more than willing and enthusiastic to speak Spanish with my students at any time throughout the summer. See, I can also keep maybe a 1 day a week Zoom going for any group of students that kind of want to get together and have like a Zoom Spanish club. I think that'd be really fun. So again, compañeros, it's not adios, it's hasta pronto, hasta luego, ¿sí? Muchas gracias por un año maravilloso y un año muy, muy raro, extraño. Espero que ustedes tengan un muy buen verano y hasta pronto.